Story time on how my password got leaked onto Roblox. This one day I was on Roblox. I was maybe around the age 7, 8. I was in those really catchy games called like Escape McDonald's or Escape whoever, you know? As I was in all those like games, I'd always join a server with 3 noobs. Not noobs as in bacon hair. Noobs as in yellow, green, blue skin. I didn't think much about it until this one day. I was in one of those catchy games. As I was in it, I made it to this one part of the stage where I saw 3 of the noobs like huddled together, in a circle. I was kind of confused, like what's happening, so I was just walking around and like investigating or something. I saw them chatting things. I was like really, really nervous. You will not believe what they chatted. Like for part 2. And thank you so much for the support. Part 2 on how my password got leaked onto Roblox. As I was investigating the noobs, I noticed they were typing something that I didn't feel comfortable about. They kept on typing my password. Not as in typing like they say it once and then they move on. They typed it like 5 or 6, maybe even more times. As they were typing it, people in the chat were going question mark, question mark. They were on a different level, so I couldn't really see them saying it, but I saw it in the chat. So I kind of felt uncomfortable. I just thought maybe they were talking about something else. It doesn't have to be my password. So I just kept on finishing the obby. Then I made it to this other point, maybe like 5 stages later. I saw the 3 exact same noobs, and they were just sitting by each other like a line. I was wondering, do they have admin to this game or something? But now that I think of it, they were hackers, so of course they did. As they were sitting down, they were leaking my password again. But as they were leaking my password, it came with a little... Part 3 of how my password got leaked onto Roblox. The surprise was, they were leaking my password with my email. And I used the same password for literally everything. My email, my Roblox account, everything, my phone, everything. So as they were leaking my email, I went to check was it really my email, and it really was. And if you log into my email account, on the side it has like my credit card with all my credit card info. And I didn't know how to turn it off. I was really, really scared. I was like, oh my God. So they just kept on spamming that, and then they stopped spamming. And they said, ha ha ha, we got you. I was like, ha ha ha, we got who? And what did you get? They said, we know you're scared and we know you're a little kid. At the time, I was younger. And then I noticed they were talking about me. I got really, really nervous. Like for part...
So when I was a sophomore in high school, I had this teacher who would only let the students in her class use the restroom 1 time per semester. Well, one day I raised my hand and I was like, excuse me, I don't remember her name. Can I please use the restroom? And she was like, no, you can't because you've already used the restroom in my class this semester. Well, excuse me, you can't dictate my bladder. So I'm like all frustrated, and I started secretly texting my mom because I wasn't allowed to use my phone in class. And I was like, Mom, I'm sitting in class right now. My teacher won't let me use the restroom. And she was like, I'll take care of it for you. And I was like, okay. So like 5 minutes goes by, and all of a sudden my teacher's phone starts ringing. And she walks up to it and answers it, and she's like, hello? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then she walks up to me like so angry, and she like slams the pass on my desk, and she was like, since you have to go that bad. And I was like, yeah, I really do, thanks. And I got up and left. I didn't even have to go to the bathroom. It was just the principle of it. I just roamed the halls.
Why I don't online date. When this happened, I was probably 9 at the time, and I met a guy on Roblox. He was pretty nice, and I liked playing with him, so I friended him, and we played together every once in a while. About 2 months after we became friends, I was playing a game on Roblox, and he joined me. We said hi to each other and started playing together like we normally did. He then asked if I wanted to be his girlfriend, and I said I don't online date and I wasn't comfortable with doing it. He then said, do it or else. I asked him or else what. He said he would do something. I asked him again what he would do. He said he was gonna come to my house. I didn't think that he would. I thought he was just trying to scare me. I asked him how he would do that, and he said he knew my address, and I was starting to get pretty scared at this point. I immediately left the game and I unfriended him. A few days later, I was playing Roblox and I somehow saw him in my game. He walked up to me and he...
Part 2.
He walked up to me and I told him to go away, but he said in all caps, "Be my girlfriend." I said in all caps, "No," and leave me alone. I thought he would leave me alone, so I walked away, and he just followed me and said, "Be my girlfriend or else I will come to your house." I left the game and blocked him, and I started to think he was not a child. About a month later, I had forgot about it, and nothing had happened, just the usual going to school. A few days later, a guy texted me saying, "I'm coming to your house. You have to be my girlfriend." I was terrified, so I immediately blocked the number. The next day, we got a knock on the door, and I forgot about the message, and my mom answered the door. It was probably a 50-year-old man, and my mom asked what he needed. He said that he wanted to see me, and my mom asked if I knew him, and I said no. He then yelled at me saying, "You must be my girlfriend." I yelled no, and he went to grab me. I screamed as loud as I could and ran back into the house. My mom yelled at him, and Part 3. And my mom called the police on him. He didn't do anything and stood there being weird, saying over and over, "You must be my girlfriend, I am lonely." The police arrived and asked the man what the problem is. My mom yelled that the man tried to grab me because I didn't want to be his girlfriend. The police took him, and we haven't heard.
This is why I never trust anybody off of Roblox. A few years ago on Roblox, when I started playing Roblox, I would join a bunch of games and friend everybody in the game. I would even join different servers to friend more people. But this one time, I joined a server, and I was very interested in the game, so I didn't friend anybody in that one. But I got a friend request from a girl named Ladybug134. Her name sounded very cool at the time, in my opinion, and I accepted it. Then I left the game to start chatting with her. She started chatting with me about saying, can I make a group chat with you and my friend on Roblox? I said, sure, why not? Because I meant more friends. Then in the group chat, I was saying hi, hello, and stuff like that, and the weird little XDs, emojis, and stuff like that. I was getting kind of confused because nobody else was talking in the chat. You will not believe what they chatted. Like for part 2. Part 2, sorry for the long wait. When I opened up the group chat, I got really nervous because it said, "I know where you are." I started getting scared because it was 2 people knowing where I live. So I unfriended both of them and blocked them. I joined the same game and got another friend request from somebody. This time, the name was LadyMan256 because in the beginning it was Ladybug. So, I don't know. I accepted it because at the time, like I said, I thought having a lot of friends was cool. They chatted me linking my email. I got really nervous. When I clicked the email, it had pictures of me. I kept on getting spam accounts from my phone messages, and it kept on saying, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" And I'm guessing it's because I blocked them. Like for part 3. Part 3 up right now. By the way, thank you for all the support. The next day, I got a call from an anonymous number. I was confused, but I still answered it. At the time, I was younger, so I didn't really notice. When I answered, it was like a robot keep on repeating, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" I got really scared and I hung up. I screenshotted the number just in case I would need it as evidence or proof. Because at the time, I thought I was doing something very smart. I kept on getting the same calls that kept on saying, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that?" I know I did something really bad. To the point where I got so scared I had to tell my parents. I told my mom and she didn't really believe me at first. And then I showed her the picture of the proof of the photo that had the number of the anonymous number. Then she called it. You will not believe what the anonymous number said to her. Like for part 4. Part 4. Thank you for waiting. When my mom got the number, it took a little bit for the number to answer. But then it finally answered. And the number said, "I know who you are. We've been together for a long time." I'm not sure if they meant together in a relationship or as friends, but I'm going to say as friends. I got very confused because I didn't know who it was, and I would have understood their voice if I knew them. But maybe they had some high-tech technology that changed their voice. But then the number hung up immediately and started texting my mom. It kept on saying, "I'm done with your daughter, but now I'm not done with you." I got really scared for my mom because I kind of got her into something. I didn't want to get her into anything because this would all be my fault. Like for part 5. And by the way, thank you for all this support. Part 5, the last part. After the anonymous number was texting my mom, I'm done with your daughter, but I'm not done with you, she kept on getting fake emails from stores that she liked. For example, Walmart, Old Navy, or even Fashion Nova. She clicked on the Old Navy one. Then it said put in your email and your password, and she put it in because it said if you do it, you get a free discount. Then when it was done, there was a badge on the side that had a smiley face. Then her phone immediately turned off. When she got back in her phone, my friend was calling her. It was weird because my friend was calling her, not calling me. And she asked my mom if I can come over. Then my mom told me, and I obviously said yes because we were friends. When I went over to her house, we wanted to play Roblox together. When she was on there, she joined my game, but not on her real account. She joined the game as Ladybug234. And that's why I don't trust anybody off of Roblox.
When I was in my room dancing to WAP, I heard someone knock on my door. I opened it and my mom started yelling at me saying, "What is this music that I'm listening to?" I came up with something and I quickly said, "It's not what you think. It's called WAP and it stands for Women Are Powerful." She smiled and said period and then walked out. The song already ended long ago and I was still dancing in my room and I got a ding on my phone. It was a Facebook post notification. My mom put up a new post. I clicked it and it was a photo of her head edited on Cardi B and she captioned it, "Did you know that WAP and women have always been WAP? We don't need no man to satisfy our needs because WAP." She then made a whole list of women she thought were powerful and she said, "Here are some WAPs." All my cousins were commenting LMAO and LOL and she asked me why they thought it was funny. I said they're probably just a joke, but my mom believed it, and she now ignores our cousins at family gatherings.
You guys, this is the reason why I never wore big dresses to school. Let me set the scene for you. 4th grade Joe, 9 years old, super perky and happy to be wearing a giant dress to school. You know, I don't know why I was. Maybe we had just gotten it. I was super excited about it. It was like a Wednesday. I was probably like, "Mom, I want to wear this dress." And since I was mainly tomboyish my entire life, she was probably like, "Yes, wear it." So I took it to school. So I took it to school. It made playtime a little complicated, but that's fine. Recess was fine. I was one of those kids who liked to roll around in the dirt, climb trees, all that jazz. And I'm like, it's just a dress. It'll be fine. So it's time for like nutrition class. I don't know. They're trying to teach us about like pyramids and like food groups. My teacher starts looking at me funny. And then she kind of just says to the entire class, "Josadak?" And I'm like, "Is it Josadak? Can you come with me outside for a second?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." 4th grade me just comes with her outside. And when we're outside, she closes the door. And I'm like, "Huh." She slowly takes off her shoe. I was like, oh, look for part 2. Okay, part 2. I honestly didn't expect to make 2 parts out of this. So my teacher was looking at me like so intensely while she was taking off her shoe. And I was so confused. Miss whatever your name is, because I don't remember. What are you doing? And she goes, "Don't move." And I start panicking. But I do what she says. Like, she gets her shoe, she holds it up to here. And then she throws it at me. And I literally jumped. She hit me in the bottom half of my dress. The shoe went flying. You know what else went flying? Right next to her shoe was the giantest spider I have ever seen in my life. I think it was a tarantula, which would have been fine because tarantulas are pretty much harmless. But at the time, both her and I were freaking out. She literally knocked the spider out. Her aim was so good. I'm actually amazed right now. She's like, "Oh my God, I saw that on your dress when you came in and I had to get it off." I was like, "Thank you." Yeah, I had no idea that was on there. So I retired that dress. No more dresses to school, not for Joe. Thanks for watching, Yo te amo.
This is why waking up late might just save your life. One day when I was in elementary school, my mom and I both overslept, which meant I wouldn't be ready in time to get on the bus. School started at 8, my bus pickup time was at 7, and it was already 6:40 or something. I was still in my PJs and hadn't even had breakfast yet. My mom decided that today we would just tell the bus driver to go on ahead and she would take me to school, which would give me plenty of time to get ready. It's 6:50, I'm in my PJs eating breakfast, and that's when we hear the bus pull up 10 minutes earlier than scheduled. My mom peeks her head out of the door into the foggy morning and waves the bus on. She closed the door and came back inside, but the bus didn't pull away. There's a knock at the door, and my mom opens it to find a man in a bus driver uniform. He explains he's a substitute bus driver because the regular driver called in sick, and that he's early because he wanted to get an early start on the route. My mom says she's taking me to school because we woke up late. He gets visibly upset and says he can wait a few minutes since he's already ahead of schedule. My mom says that we won't be ready in a few minutes and tells him to go on ahead. He seemed really angry about this, but turned around, got back on the bus, and left. But at 7 a.m., another bus pulls up to my house. My mom went out to talk to them and came back looking terrified. Part 2 of why sleeping in might just save your life. After talking to the bus driver, my mom came back looking terrified, but she didn't say anything about it and told me to finish getting ready for school. At the time, I didn't know what happened, but my mom would end up telling me a few years later. When she went to the second bus, she found out it was being driven by my regular driver and it was full of other kids that are usually on my route. By the way, the other bus was empty. My mom asked the driver about the substitute driver and about him calling in sick. He tells her that he never called in sick and there is no substitute driver on his route. The driver immediately called dispatch in a panic and told my mom to go inside and call the police and report this incident, which she did without me knowing at the time. There was absolutely no one doing my driver's route that day. Whoever this was most likely a kidnapper who had targeted me. I never heard anything about it again, not even if someone else had ended up being picked up by this mysterious fake bus driver. But chances are, had I gotten on that bus, I would never have made it to school or back home. And if we hadn't overslept on that specific day, I would have been on that bus.
Growing up.
Story time of how I never go to ice cream trucks anymore. So where I live, ice cream trucks are pretty common in the neighborhood, and so my parents were fine when I went. Normally the ice cream truck stopped in the middle of my house, like between me and my neighbor's house, but this time it was right in front of mine, but I did not think much of it, so I have the money and I'm walking up to the truck and my parents re somewhere in the house I didn't know where. I just know they were not watching me, which could have been a big mistake. When I go to the truck, I'm about to order my favorite ice cream, and as soon as I said, "Hi, I would like to order the ice cream," man said, "I thought you would be here," and it got really weird, but since I was a kid I thought he was being friendly and funny, but my ass was about to get kidnapped after I told him what I wanted. Once Aegean thought he was being friendly, he came out the truck to give it to me. I said thank you, gave him the money, and was about to walk away when he said, "Do you want to see what the inside of an ice cream truck looks like?" I said sure, like why the hell am I so stupid? But when I go in the ice cream truck, he shut the door and looked me in, and he got in the driver's seat. That's how I knew I was being kidnapped, so I had to think fast since he locked the door in the inside. I was able to unlock it and get out. Lucky me, got out in front of my best friend's house, so I hid in the bushes once I got out, and once I could not see him anymore I ran to my friend's house and started banging on the door and ringing the doorbell, and once I was safe in their house I told her parents what happened, and they called my parents and told them everything, and my parents came to get me, and I said thank you to my friend and her parents and went home. So you see, my parents still let me get ice cream trucks, but I don't anymore.